Hello everyone, my name is Raymond Pascual and I would like to introduce this slit lamp made by Rexxam and distributed by iOS Marketing Corporation. So let's go through the structure of the slit lamp. Now let's identify each section of this slit lamp. Number one, this is the power switch of the slit lamp and the table switch is located at the bottom side. Number two, this is the forehead rest for patient positioning with the eye level mark guide. Number three, this is the intensity light and slit width adjustment up to 15 mm continuous. Number four, and this is the filters adjustment for blue and 50% neutral density with heat absorption and green filters. And number five, this is the magnification changer. So we have five magnification, the 6.4x, the 10x, and the 25x, 16x, and 40x. And this is the angle movement of the slit lamp. So let's start with the basic. First, we have to turn it on. Usually the light switch is at the bottom of the table facing you. Now, there's a couple of adjustments you actually do for your own eyes as well. The first, you can move this white part in back and forth for your pupillary distance for your convenience. Now, you need to adjust also the near of distance on the front, which the black part of we call the eyepiece, which kind of change for the prescription of your eyes. So now the rules here is that you don't wear eyeglasses or currently wearing your eyeglasses. Just put into 0. Next, we have some different position for the patient. The first one is for the patient own comfort in our table adjustment. So there's usually a switch in front of you in the bottom side of the table. So now adjust it for the convenience of both of you. The next part of the patient positioning is actually for the exam, not for the patient comfort. And there's two things you have to do. First, patient forehead has to be touching the white strip. Otherwise, you will never be able to focus correctly on the patient eyes. The second thing is the transparent curve mark in the metal side that has to be even with the patient eyes. The way to do that is to adjust the patient chin, and this chin rest can be moved up and down by this metal dial here on the lower side. Next step, we have to aim the light. To move the light up and down, you can dial the joystick either counterclockwise or clockwise in order to move it front and back, or either move the full machine base for fine adjustment. Just move the joystick back and forth. The same applies to move it side by side. The reason you're going to move the base forward and backward is to focus on different parts of the eye. For example, if you want to take a look at the eyelashes and lids close to the machine, is going to be moved a little farther back, and then to start focusing on parts of the eye, you can move the machine gradually a little closer to the patient. Next, we have bunch of different adjustment of the beam. So first step, with this little dial down here, you can start to play with it, and you can see that the width of the beam is going to get narrower and wider. We can also adjust the height of the beam. This dial here or switch is usually upon the top of the machine. Actually, the dial like a clock, or it will flip back and forth across the machine. But the main thing there is, you notice that the beam start to get larger and larger and larger. Eventually, there's a little bit clip and you max it out, and the beam must suddenly turn cobalt blue. Now, this is very important because this is the blue light. you need for fluorescent exam. So remember, the same switch that does the height if you max it out, that's your cobalt blue light for fluorescent exam. You can also adjust the beam protocol horizontal. This probably is not much introduced to us in ER, but it's something to know. If the whole machine is not making sense and it seems that all the dials are backwards, it could be someone accidentally tips the beam horizontal instead of vertical, how we normally use it. Now on top of the side switch, you can see another switch. For the most part of the ER, you'll never going need to touch this switch, but if someone else had mesh with it might not be in the current position, you need to at least know what it does. There's a couple of different filter and intensity on this switch. One of the position will turn this teal green color. This is not the same as the cobalt blue for the fluoro exam. It's just a different filter that helps us look for red blood vessels and red cells. So where you want to switch, we want it just the highest intensity for now. So just remember that the teal green light is not the same as the cobalt blue exam. There also might be different switches for modification. Just start to the lowest and you can always adjust it from there. Lastly, the beam usually has an intensity dial here below on the machines adjacent to the joystick part to make the light brighter and less brighter. Can be helpful, especially if the patient has a bad photophobia. Okay, now it's time for the exam. So first, I recommend focusing on the eyelashes and lids. Then you're going to move the light slightly forward with the joystick until it focuses on conjunctiva and sclera, and then scan over and look at the cornea. From there, you can move the 45 degrees and take a look at the anterior chamber, and then move forward slightly more on the joystick until you focus on the iris and on the lens. At the point, use that high dial to view into a cobalt blue light, and then you can do the fluorescein exam. Okay, let's review. Power button and then table adjustment for the patient. And make sure that the forehead rest of the patient touching the white strip, and then the eyes even with the transparent metal curved lines by adjusting the chin rest. You can move light up and down and back and forth with the joystick and the base. To adjust the beam, you can use the intensity dial. You can adjust the width, the high dial. When maxed out is your cobalt blue, used for fluorescing. You can also adjust the light vertical and horizontal by dialing this whole top part of the machine, back and forth, and remember, just don't touch this switch. The green filter is not the same as the cobalt blue. For now, let's start with the lowest modification. A couple quick tips: when you're using the fluorescein strip, it can actually cause very small aberration on the eye. To try, put it down in the lower layer of the side so you're not making false positive aberration during your exam.